right, next up on this lesson, we talked about finding slopes. So now we're going to talk about finding your intercepts algebraically. So remind yourself that intercept just means that to cross, that crossing or intersecting, coming in between. So when we deal with our x-intercepts, let's start there first. X-intercepts are conveniently located on the x-axis, right? It's where that graph crosses the x-axis, where it intersects the x-axis. So if I look at a little example here, if I look at a little grid, a little xy axis, right? If it's on the x-axis, if that point is somewhere on that x-axis, every single point that falls on the x-axis has a y value of what? Who cares what these numbers are? If I'm on this x-axis, that means I moved up and down how many? Or up or down how many? And that would be none. I didn't move up or down at all from the origin. I just moved side to side. So when you're dealing with x-intercepts, y is going to be equal to 0 always, which gives you the coordinate point of some x value, comma, 0. That is going to be what your x-intercepts look like. They're going to be an x value, whatever that might be, comma, 0. And how to find that is not too bad at all. How to find that, you're going to plug in 0 for y. Because remember, y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0. Plug in 0 for y. Then solve for x. It's that simple. You take whatever they give you for y and you plug it in, you make it 0, and then you just isolate that x. Y-intercepts are basically the same thing, just on the complete flip side. Your y-intercepts are then naturally located on the y-axis. It's where that line crosses or intersects the y-axis. And if we look at an example like we did over there, same kind of a thing. If I'm talking about this time points that are on the y-axis, that means they have an x value that would always be equal to 0. Let's keep the red this time. So here, x is equal to 0, always. And yes, they're opposite of each other because that's what happens. In order for a point to be on the y or the up and down axis, you're not moving over side to side at all, so x has to remain 0. Which means that it's going to look like the coordinate point of 0, comma, whatever that y value is. Or if you're looking at your slope intercept, 0, comma, b, from that y equals mx plus b. How to find it? You could exactly do what we did for the other one, plug in 0 for x and solve. So let's write that down. Plug in 0 for x, then solve for y. Or like we more commonly use and we've already done, if you have the equation is in slope-intercept form, again, that slope-intercept form is that y equals mx plus b. If it's in slope-intercept form, then it's the b value. And we already knew that, right? We were looking for that b value for a while now. And the last little thing that I want to talk about here is that when you're talking about intercepts, they should be written as coordinate points. So your x-intercepts will be x comma 0, and your y-intercepts will be 0 comma y. All right, we'll look at an example in the next one.